Awesome. Okay. So just before we get started, I just want to say to you that there has never been a better time to think about becoming a Thermomix consultant and joining the team. Why do I say that? We had our Kickstart event last night in at head office in Melbourne, and everyone in the room, their heads were spinning with the announcements that we had. Just to give you a little snippet of what they were, um, for the first time ever, we are offering Earn 3, which means you sell 3 Thermomixes in your first 60 days and you have earned your Thermomix. Okay. We're doing a low deposit of $480 and a free business kit. If you want to know a little bit more about that, stay on after this class and I will tell you all that is involved with coming on board and having some fun. All right. We've also got a travel incentive. Where do you think we might be going? The flower and the hair in the background might give it away. Fiji. So that is a travel incentive that all the consultants are working towards, and that is in September this year. So becoming a Thermomix consultant is not only about earning some extra income, having a lot of fun, but also earning travel incentives. Very, very cool. And finally, Lexie will tell you a bit more a bit later on about our whopping $700 free gift with purchase, which is starting tomorrow. Exciting times ahead. All right, there's lots of people in the waiting room. I'll just let them in.
Sorry, I was just doing that for you, Tess.
Oh, thank you. Few late starters tonight, like me. And we have any comments in the chat? Let's have a look. Melbourne, steak and salad. Yes, good night for steak and salad. Heathmont, chicken coconut curry. Yum. Fried rice, honey pepper. Chicken in a hug. That would be in a mug, Wendy?
Hugging a mug.
Hug in a mug.
Yeah, good one, that one.
Awesome. Fantastic. Wendy's had her Thermomix for all of 3 days.
Oh, wow. Good job.
She's very excited. Numerica. Hi, how you going, Bree? The handbrake. Woo! I was talking about you just very recently. To Wendy actually. Marry me chicken. Oh, right. You've just helped me plan my weekly meals for next week. So thank you for that. All right, without further ado, we are going to head on over to Deb's kitchen in Numurkah, and I'm going to spotlight her, and she's going to get started on the yummy zucchini cheddar slice. Over to you, Deb.
Hi everyone. Hopefully you can see and hear me okay. Welcome everyone. Sorry, and hello, especially who did I say? Jenny from Numurkah. Not many of us in this small town, but anyway. So I am making, as Tess said, the zucchini cheddar slice. The first step is to grease your container or dish. I'm using my Fira because I love this so much, the rectangle Fira cast iron dish. I've just popped some baking paper in that. You could use a Pyrex dish or a tray, whichever you've got. But I must admit, if you haven't checked out the Fira range, jump onto onto the Mix Shop later, not now, and you'll miss it. There's some great stuff in there in that range. So this is, you may have, or has anyone made this before, the zucchini cheddar one? There is another zucchini slice recipe, which has been around for years. And this one's just kind of next level. So this one is as simple as 100 grams of cheddar cheese or cheese of preference, and roughly five sprigs of flat leaf parsley. And I know I often get asked when I do the veggie stock paste on delivery with a new customer, I get asked what's a sprig? Some people think that could be a sprig, but in my mind, that's not. It's when you buy it, either pick it out of your garden or buy it in the shop. The long stem is what I call a sprig. So when I make my veggie stock and everything, I really load it up. And I am putting lots in this because I've got plenty. It's just full of flavor, especially that veggie stock. And then 5 sprigs of fresh basil leaves. Of course, if you don't have any of these things, you can, like that's more than 5 sprigs, but we love basil here.
Yeah.
You can use dried if you prefer, but I must admit I try and get fresh stuff when I can, just for that real fresh flavour. Then I'm adding 60 grams of fresh baby spinach, which I've just given a quick rinse and dried off a little bit. It's just so simple, this recipe. You're going to wonder why you haven't made it. 7 seconds on speed 6. Nice and simple. I love that the Thermomix guided cooking just does everything for you, does all the thinking for you. There's no need to remember recipes, which is a blessing because I couldn't remember one if my life depended on it.
Not
It
like the
actually
old days.
tells us, when I was being spoiled, transfer to a large bowl and set aside. So that's what it looks, if I can get the right angle, some light. It's just chopped it down. It kind of looks like a bit of a pesto, I guess you'd call it. So I'm just going to transfer that. Tess, did anyone say in the chat if they've made it before?
No, I
Good.
haven't. I've tasted it before because Deb's made it for me. But I have not actually made it yet, but I will. And you're going to do
Yeah.
a little variation tonight, aren't you, Deb?
No, I'm sticking to the recipe.
Are you?
I changed my mind. I was gonna change it up, but it's all right.
Look,
So
it's your prerogative.
yeah, that's exactly right. You can keep it as it is or change it. So this is about 350 grams of zucchini, just roughly cut. It says quarters, but whatever you want to do. And then that just gets chopped down. And again, that's only a few seconds. So another 7 on speed 6. Speed 4. You don't quite smash that one to smithereens, so it's speed 4. Then we add that to the bowl. So you'll see, hopefully see, so it's just chopped it all down.
Awesome.
How much quicker would that be versus getting out the grater out of your cupboard and standing there grating your zucchini for a zucchini slice?
And there's no DNA, aka blood.
That's right, no fingernail, no skin knuckles.
No.
I've done that in the past.
I want to make this now.
So that, it smells good just with the basil on its own. So that just goes into the bowl to set aside. About 150 grams of brown onion, and of course, depending on how much onion you like or how big your onion was, which is not quite 150, but that's fine by me. Some rindless bacon, which was around 160 grams. I'm just using the shortcut one, and it's just roughly cut. Like, it's not chopped and diced, and it doesn't have to be in pretty little perfect sizes. Then this goes back on, the cap's in there, and it's 3 seconds on speed 5. Not sure what everyone's knife skills are like. Mine are terrible, but knowing that you can just chop all that stuff in 3 seconds, no tears, trying to do your onion. Then we just try and show you. So it has chopped it down quite a bit. It does remind us to scrape it down because it will obviously push some of it up the side of the bowl. So use your spatula just to get it back in the bowl where it belongs. Then instead of the measuring cup being in the lid, we take that out and we're actually going to put the simmering basket, because we're going to cook for 5 minutes, 120 degrees on speed 1. So if I set this test, you're going to go to Lexie, aren't you, and come back?
We sure are.
Perfect.
Just need to find her. There she is.
It's a pity you won't smell the bacon cooking.
Oh, here she is, Lexie.
Me, sorry, I was on mute. Hello, everyone. So I'm going to be making cheese and bacon rolls tonight. So I don't know if you guys had these when I was a kid. We used to get these, and they were a little bit of a treat because they were so yummy. And they were these beautiful soft rolls topped with cheese and bacon, and there was always that little bit of crispy cheese on the side that you'd kind of fight over with your siblings. I bought some of these rolls recently at the supermarket, and I actually did a Facebook post about it because they were about the size of my palm. They were tiny, they were dry, and they cost me about $8. So I thought it would be really great to make some of these tonight. These are really great to pop in the freezer. Once you take them out of the oven and let them cool, if you pop them straight in the freezer, when you pull them out for lunches, they'll be nice and soft and fluffy still. So I'm just going to show how I'm going to do my cheese. Obviously, top these with the cheese and bacon. Just over here. So I'm actually going to use my chop mode tonight. I don't use this all that often, but it is super handy when you're throwing some cheese or some nuts or something in your Thermomix and you're not quite sure how long you should chop it for to get what you want. You can just go straight to the chop mode and choose what you want to chop. So we've got chocolate and ice and veggies, but I'm going to select cheese, and it's saying that I can put 70 to 300 grams. So this recipe calls for 150. I've got about 180 because why not more cheese? And I'm just going to select set. And my lid, sorry, I moved it last second.
Look at your gorgeous new kitchen, Lexie.
I know, it's I'm trying to find the best spot to do these.
Yeah.
So you can see it's hopefully you can, it's a bit glary, but it's preset it to 5 seconds and has told me to turn it around to speed 7. So away we go. Hear the power. All right. Lid to come off. Now, normally I would throw my bacon in here as well, so it all just chops together, but I had some pre-chopped bacon in the freezer that I thought I'd use instead of buying more. But you can see that it's chopped up my cheese nicely. So I'll do the dough. I have pre-made the dough just because it does need some time to rise, so you get those beautiful light fluffy rolls. This dough is quite versatile, so you could use it for these cheese and bacon rolls, or you could use it for scrolls as well. I've got some cheesy mite scrolls in the freezer at the minute that I'm sending to with my son to his school holiday program. So if you're making scrolls, all you would do is roll the dough out into a big rectangle, put your scroll topping on top and roll it up and chop it into scrolls. Obviously, we're doing rolls tonight, so I've pre-done some. But all I've done is chopped my dough into 8 pieces. So I find this really handy. This is a bowl scraper that you can grab in the mix shop. I don't think I've ever used it to scrape a bowl, and I don't think anyone else has either. But fantastic for chopping your dough on your bench. It doesn't cut anything. So I've just portioned it into pieces and I'll roll it into little balls. I'll just gather it underneath and then pop it on my tray. You can see I've got some here already.
Awesome.
And then we will just top it with our topping. Tess, do you want me to do that now or do you want to come back to me?
We'll come back to you. Deborah, you ready?
I have 1 minute and 7 seconds to
Okay.
go.
We'll watch you then, Lex.
All right. So I might just, there we go. So you can see I've got my 8 rolls. So this recipe calls for 12. So you can make 12 rolls, but I'm sending these to school with my son. And I think he'll probably like a little bit more. So I'm just smushing them down a little bit. And then I'll top them with my bacon.
How long have you proved them for, Lexie?
So I proved the dough for it's an hour.
Yep.
It probably didn't need it. I had it sitting along the window, so it was quite warm there this afternoon.
Yep.
But yeah, an hour, just depending on how warm it is. So I'll just top some with bacon. I'll do the rest while Deb takes over, and then just some cheese.
Awesome.
Sprinkle that on. And they're ready to go in the oven. So we'll sit them aside.
Do you do an egg wash and put that on as well?
Yes, I normally would. However, it is impossible to get eggs in Wallen.
Oh, true. Yes.
So yes, I would put an egg wash on, but I'll show you a little tip at the end that I like to do that takes your egg and bacon rolls, egg and cheese rolls to the next level.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Lexie. Back to you, Deb.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that was just that cook time with the bacon and onion. Now Lexie, look away because I'm going to add some eggs. The beauty, oh, actually, I'll show you what that looks like. I wish you could smell this. It just is bacon, onion simmered away in there. Yeah, the beauty of having a workmate of my husband's that has their own chooks. And I'm actually using 6 instead of 5 because they're only quite small yolks. So I figured there's room for a little bit extra. That means that there's more to put in the freezer for later. So it's 5 eggs and 100 grams of rice flour. So if you don't have rice flour in your cupboard, of course, you can just grab some rice out and mill it down in your Thermomix to make rice flour. So 1 less packet in your cupboard or 1 less container. And then it says a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. I do like a chef's pinch, which is like almost a teaspoon, I reckon. And then the bit that I was going to leave out but decided to add in, I thought I'll stick to the original recipe, 100 grams of frozen peas. And you'll notice I've got you probably can't tell the size, but this is the really small thermo server. So this is ideal. These have been in here after hubby got back from the supermarket and they're still frozen. So they keep things cold really, really well. So then we're adding all of this back in, the zucchini, the cheese, and the herbs back into the bowl.
So good. And obviously, if you've got fussy kids, you could mush that zucchini down a lot more, couldn't you?
Oh yeah, if you want to hide it a little bit more. Look, if you really needed to hide it, you could probably peel it as well. And
Yeah.
I'm not quite using as much oil. I find it's quite oily because it's got bacon as well.
Sure.
So the recipe called for 80 grams, so it's just a bit less that I've used. Measuring cup goes in, and on reverse, so the green arrow under the speed symbol there is going with that little arrow instead of the blade symbol. So that means we're on reverse. So speed 4 for 6 seconds takes
Awesome. Just while that is doing that, Donna has just made a really good point. She's one of our other team leaders in our branch, that water and milk works very well for in place of egg wash as well. So thank you, Donna.
So that's our mixture, and it is, I'm just trying to look at the line on the bowl. I reckon it's about 1.5 litres of food in there. So I'm going to tip that, and you probably don't need to watch me pour it. I'm going to tip that into my tray and pop it in the oven at 180 for about 30 minutes or so. And then I'll come back later and show you the finished product.
Awesome.
You can actually add extra things on top of it if you want to, or in it, like you could put tomatoes, cherry tomatoes is nice. I'd love to hear any suggestions of what you guys might add to the recipe, because we know that you don't have to follow a recipe to a T. You can modify it a bit. So
Morgan has just said that her daughter won't eat peas. And I think Jodie has suggested corn would work really well. I mean, you could put anything you like in there, really.
Yeah, I've done it with corn. I was going to do some chopped up broccoli, but I needed to use that for something else. You can even just use up diced carrot, cauliflower, because it's clear no one might even know that there's cauliflower in it. So yeah, lots of different suggestions.
Perfect. And Sarah has also suggested some hot smoked salmon.
Oh, yum.
That sounds good.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
So you can come back to me a bit later if you like, Tess.
No worries. Okay, so I think Lexie, where are you up to?
All right, so I've just done my rolls. So you can see I actually mixed the cheese and bacon in together. Normally, as I said, I would chop it together, and it's much easier to kind of put it on when it's all mixed. You could top these with whatever you want. So I remember we used to get kind of cheese and tomato ones, or you could make little Hawaiian ones. If anyone's got some suggestions that they make, I'd love to hear them. I'm always looking for new ideas. And I'm actually going to pop my sensor into one of the rolls so that I can tell when it's cooked. So Tess mentioned I'm in a brand new kitchen. I'm not sure about this oven just yet. So I'm going to pop the sensor in to tell me when they're cooked. I found when I was cooking bread without the sensor, I often overcook it and it's not as soft and fluffy. So I'm just going to pop that into the middle of one of the rolls, and I'm going to pop them into a cold oven. So because we're short on time tonight, I'll pop them in a cold oven, which will help prove them a little bit. So normally you would sit these aside for about half an hour just to puff up a little bit again. But by popping them in the cold oven, it kind of gently brings them up to temperature and helps them prove a little bit.
That's an excellent tip, Lexie, to save time. If you don't have time to do 2 proofs, the best trick to do is, pop it in a cold oven and just extend the cooking time a little bit. So I think these say normally 15 to 20 minutes. So we're going to pop them in for about 20 to 25, but the sensor will tell us when they're ready.
If you're anything like me, I'm always in a mad rush to try and get stuff together for my son's lunch. So if you're making them in the morning for lunch that day, it's really handy.
Oh, Angie's just suggested same dough recipe, but add little boys in and make them savory bites from Baker's Delight. I think that is. Yeah, that sounds good.
Delicious.
All right. So I think we're over to Jodie now.
Beautiful.
Come on down. Oh, you're going to need both done, aren't you? Oh, you've done them. Thank you.
I'm one step ahead. Hang on, I'll just remove Lexie for you.
I can do that.
Oh, good. I don't want to do that.
Now, I just thought one question we haven't asked. I'm assuming most of you are owners. That is a fairly natural assumption. Which model Thermomix do you currently have? And if you don't have one, just say, don't have one yet. Go for it, Jodes.
All right, I started out with a TM31 back, oh gosh, I'm thinking probably about 13 years ago. I got my TM31 originally. So that's where I got my bug from. And I joined when I upgraded to my TM5 in 2016. Bought the TM5 in November in 2015, and I joined in February 2016. So there you go. 9 years next month. So yeah.
Well, lots of TM6s and lots of TM5s. We haven't had any 31s crop up yet. Anyone got a 31?
Loved my 31. My mum
knows
it all the time. Yeah.
I felt like I was cheating on it when I sold it.
Yeah, I know, right? Very loyal to my TM31. I love it and I can use it again. All right, guys, I'm going to do the ABC muffins tonight. I haven't made these for quite a while, but when I had my kids at home and they were going to school, this was one of the, I did a very similar recipe to this. So I thought I'd pick this one tonight because it's a really easy one to freeze. And I used to love, because if you don't know, I have 7 children. I used to love pre-making a lot of stuff and being able to pull it out of the freezer in the morning, pop it into the lunchboxes, especially at this warmer time of the year when you know by lunchtime their scrolls are going to be defrosted in their lunchbox. And their muffins and everything else will all be well and truly defrosted by lunchtime for them in this warm weather. And then in the wintertime, you know, you can probably put them into something not so insulated as well, so they will defrost as well. But yeah, always froze off a lot of things, especially scrolls. I'll give you a tip with the egg and the bacon and cheese rolls. The ones that I used to make, I used to put a cross in the top. So that way your bacon and cheese didn't quite fall off as much. They kind of stuck into the cross grooves a little bit. So you can try both ways, see how it works for you. But Lexie's looks amazing. All right, so I'm going to start cooking. ABC stands for apple, banana, carrot. So I've already preheated my oven. It's been going there just for a little bit. I was going to actually preheat it earlier, but it's been so warm today. So I've cut up my carrot into little chunks. I've got 120 grams of carrots in there. I've also got 1 apple that I have peeled and cored. No, sorry, not peeled. I've just cored it and cut them into pieces. So they've still got their peel on. The one thing I do love about this recipe, lots of fibre in there. So they are really quite gut friendly. I'm a nutritionist and, you know, that's really important to get all the good bugs happening in your tummy to do that. All right, so we're going around to speed 6 to chop all that up. Again, probably didn't bring my spatula. No, I did. Usually I'm the one who forgets to bring her spatula. I'm going to scrape that down. So that's your mixture all chopped up there for you. Apologies for my lighting tonight. It was very bright out in that other room, so I've kind of turned everything off in here because it was. Now, a tip with your banana is another good thing with being a freezer one is I freeze my bananas. I know they look disgusting, but I freeze my bananas whole in the skin. Sometimes, especially for recipes like this, because once they defrost, they're really easy just to peel the skin. The skin acts like a protectant in the freezer for you. Or you can just peel them and chop them up, put them into a bag. But I write on the bag how many bananas I have in the actual bag. sort of, I've got a recipe that calls for, say, 3 bananas. I've got, a bag that I know that's 3 bananas worth in there, or roughly. So I did put 1 and a bit bananas because I knew that they were quite small ones, so that's almost right. 170 grams of self-raising flour. So I've chosen tonight to use a wholemeal self-raising flour. Again, that extra fibre is a little bit more gut friendly. I have also made these gluten-free. So if there's anyone out there who's gluten-free, this recipe does definitely work with gluten-free flour as well. I use the Aldi gluten-free flour for a lot of my baking. I find it works and translates really well for a like swap. So they're like for like. You don't have to kind of alter the remedy a little bit. And also in that mixture was 50 grams of rolled oats. If you are sensitive to oats, again, if you're gluten-free and you find that you are a bit sensitive to oats, which some people are, especially celiac kind of people, you can use quinoa flakes instead. They're a really good sub for oats for people who are sensitive to them. And 2 eggs. Sorry, Lexie. Wait. Actually, the eggs have been amazing out here. They've been nice and big. And some maple syrup. So I love using maple syrup as a sugar or a sweetener in a lot of my baked goods, and you could actually probably cut that down a little bit too. It's got 100 grams in there, which isn't too bad. I probably wouldn't, with most of my baked goods, I probably wouldn't go over too much over 100 grams. You'll see some recipes, it depends on whether you're a sweet tooth or not, I suppose, but some recipes will call for about 120. Some go up as far as 180. I find that that's far too much for me. So if you would like to cut your sugar down a little bit or use alternative sugars, you can do that as well in this recipe. We've got some yogurt. So I've got 100 grams of Greek style natural yogurt in there. Who makes yogurt in their Thermomix? We've got many people in here that make their own yogurt. Love making my own yogurt. And 50 grams of extra virgin olive oil. Another good tip is if you wanted to swap the olive oil out, you could use a grapeseed oil. It's got less flavour to it than what the olive oil does. So it's probably, better for your baked goods to use. And definitely grapeseed oil for things like your mayonnaise and things like that, because olive oil can be quite strong tasting. Okay, that's it all mixed up. Give it a whiz around. I love the moments of doing things like that. So we don't have to do the whole different
We're
stage.
struggling to hear you, Jodes.
Sorry.
Just going a bit in and out.
Probably because I'm moving away from my phone.
Uh-huh.
I put onto the wrong audio, so hopefully you can hear me.
Yep.
And I'm going to put these into the patty pans. So I've just got my patty pans here. We're just going to tip this mixture into our patty pans as we go. So if you wanted to swap to somebody else, that's it from me.
Yeah, no worries. Deb, where are you? Where
I'm
you are?
here. Yes.
Add your spotlight. What have you got to tell us about?
Okay. So I'm going to talk to you about am I on? Yep. I'm going to talk to you about host rewards. So I can't actually see if I'm even on, but that's okay.
No, I can't. I've lost you. Hang on.
Oh, I can probably spotlight myself.
Yeah. Jodie's got so many spotlights.
Just kick
There
me
you
out.
I found you now.
Okay, found me. All right, perfect. So I'm hoping that everyone on here has hosted a demo at least once. But if you haven't, or if you've done a demo and you've still not got the collection of host rewards in your kitchen cupboards, we've just announced, it was announced last night, starting tomorrow, we've got some new host rewards or changes to the host rewards. So pop in the chat. We'd love to know which of these you already have. So there's the cutter accessory, which you're going to need a cutter accessory for when our spiralizer comes out. I don't know if Tess has got any more info on that just yet, but the cutter
soon.
Yeah, one of the rewards is the cutter accessory. The thermo server, which is the traditional sort of round 2.6 litre. There's an oval thermo server in there. We've got a bundle for the bakers, which is the rose gold bread tin and the baking mat. And our glider board. I don't know if you can see, mine's on my, oops, I've got a black one on my bench, but the one that's available is the white one. So by hosting a demo, just totally lost my Zoom now. By hosting a demo, you've now got, invite a couple of friends along, introduce the Thermomix to others while you learn lots of hints and tips from your consultant. And should one of those guests buy a Thermomix within the 2 weeks, then it unlocks the host price, like the special host price. But even if they're not ready within those 2 weeks, you still do get a discount on one of those items. So hit up your consultant for a date for your demo. We do show you a couple of recipes that are really going to help show you the ins and outs, even if you've been cooking for years. Some of those recipes are new to the menu matrix that we use and full of hints and tips. And we can show you how to use the Varoma, which is the steaming component that might be sitting in your cupboard collecting dust. Some people use it to death and some people don't use it much at all. So we want to make sure that you're using it to its full potential. Anything else you want me to share, Tess?
No, I've actually just got the flyer up. I don't know if you can see it, Deb. Sharing my screen, I've got the flyer up. So showing those host rewards.
Perfect.
This is new with the bread mat. You actually get the bread tin now, which is absolutely gorgeous. So if you like to bake and looking for ways to save money, this is a brilliant way to save money by making your own bread. So I just the thermoserver is also such a valuable tool to have as part of your Thermomix collection. It's a double insulated stainless steel that keeps a container that keeps your food hot or cold for 2 hours. So it's an absolute winner. And the only way to get your hands on one is to host a demonstration. So if you have a Thermomix and you don't have a thermoserver, reach out to your consultant and get yourself one because they are a game changer. This one, the
Or even
oval one.
if you've got one, Tess, they could get another one. We use
Another one, yeah.
We've usually got, one on the go every other day, I reckon, in our kitchen. So you can never have too many.
How good are these oval ones for sausages at a barbecue? They're so good because sausages always cook way quicker than steak and everything. Just keep them warm in here.
Great for icicles on a hot day.
Beautiful. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So hosting a demonstration is a great way not only to get a little host reward, but also just to learn extra hints and tips. I don't know, maybe Wendy, you could pop something in the chat. You've just been to a demonstration literally last Saturday. You might like to recommend to everyone else why hosting a demonstration is a great idea. All right. Now we are going to cross to Lexie. She's got some exciting news for us about our new gift with purchase starting tomorrow. And I'll see if I can find the graphic to share for you, Lexie, while you start talking.
Over to me. So when you do host your demo and one of your beautiful friends comes along and decides that they desperately need to get a Thermomix because it's the most amazing thing they've ever seen, starting tomorrow, they will get a pretty incredible gift with purchase. So they'll actually get a second bowl blade and lid. So that's this one, obviously. If you're like me, you're probably kind of going, why would I need a second one of these? That doesn't really make much sense. Now I do have a couple. I can tell you it's an absolute lifesaver. If you are making the creamy coconut chicken curry and you realise you have no coconut milk, you could quickly pop your jug off, your bowl off and make some coconut milk. You could whip up a batch of cocktails, pop them in the fridge and then use your second one to cook something. Lots and lots of different reasons. Also, if you're like me and you hate washing, when one's in the dishwasher, you will have your second one that you can easily use. So they'll get the bowl blade and lid, which is valued at $395, which is already pretty incredible. On top of that, they'll also get a $300 mix shop voucher. So I'd love to know in the chat what you would spend $300 on in the mix shop. They could get themselves the sensor that I'm using to cook my bread rolls. I can see that the temperature of them is currently 60 degrees and they need to get to 96 degrees. They could put it towards my favourite thing, the Ovada pizza oven. They could put it towards some of the beautiful rose gold bakeware. So $695 worth of value in free gift with purchase at the moment. That is starting tomorrow.
Yep, and it's the
What
highest
to buy?
value. Sorry?
I said, what a time to buy a Thermomix.
Yes, great time. And I also appreciate that most of you are already owners, and that's fine. If you know somebody who could be interested in getting a Thermomix and you don't have the time or capacity to host a demonstration, did you know that you can actually refer a friend and you could get $100 Mix Shop voucher just for saying, hey, speak to this consultant. So if you know of somebody who might like to, consider purchasing a Thermomix, reach out to your consultant and get the referral link, and you could be shopping in the Mix Shop in no time. All righty. Now, thank you, Lexie. We are going to cross over to Jodie. Which screen do you want, Jodie?
I'll do it. You're fine.
Yep.
I'll just go on this one. I've just moved my other camera around, so it's like right here in my face. So I didn't want to highlight like this.
Yeah, fair enough.
You probably see that in the chat anyway, but just because the audio is on this one. There you go. Don't look at the side of my head anymore. Beautiful. All right. I don't want to do that. Go away. I keep talking to my computer. I'm going to share with you guys one of my really good recipes that I had for that's not, I'm not sure that they're freezer friendly. Maybe they are choc chip recipes. But the reason that I wanted to show you this tonight is I'm going to take you through how to adapt a recipe on your cookadoo with created recipes. So how many people on here know how to do created recipes or have got some created recipes on their cookadoo? Pop in the chat if you have and what the recipes are that you have been creating in your created recipes. All right. So I'm going to show you a really simple way of actually putting the recipes on, which one of those ways is to go through the recipe community. It's probably the easiest way because Thermomix already own both platforms. The recipe community actually has a button in it where you can easily just press the button to put your recipes straight into your created recipes on your cookadoo. You can actually do other URLs into there. A lot of the time, the URLs that you try and put into your created recipes have got embedded ads. So you'll find that they are ones that are really difficult to try and convert straight into your created recipes. So you do tend to have to put those kinds of recipes on manually yourself, which is a little bit more time intensive, shall we say, but well worth it. So if you're somebody who likes to cook or a quite free cook and you like to put your own things on or put your own twist on things, but sometimes you can't remember what you did. So you'll dish up this amazing recipe for your family and they'll say, wow, that was so good, Mum. And they're like, oh, I can't really remember what the quantities were because I just kind of winged it. That's the kind of cook that I am. So I find creative recipes are really great for being able to keep me in line in that way. So the recipe that I'm going to actually share with you tonight, is on the recipe community. It's called choc chip muesli bars. Sorry. Can you hear me okay with the sound?
Yes,
Tess?
we can. Yep, I'll let you know if we can't.
Okay, perfect. So choc chip muesli bars. And this is a really, really adaptable recipe for lunchboxes as well. So I thought it'd be a great one to actually show you tonight. Choc chip muesli. This one is a recipe that's been put on here by Missy Moo. Just give me 1 second. I need to turn the oven down a little bit. Temperature down. Sorry, I should have shown you. I actually put some granola on top of those muffins, and it was 5 minutes on a 200-degree oven. Now it's gone down to 180 degrees for another 25, so I just need to time it. And you'll see over here on the right-hand side somewhere, there is a little button that says Add to Cookadoo, highlighted in the typical Thermomix green. What that will do is we'll add it over into your very own created recipes column in your Cookadoo. So they connect and they link up. And you'll see here along the top it says we've got already detected some ingredients and Thermomix settings, and that means that they have already down below here started to edit that recipe for you. So it takes a lot of that time out of actually having to put in manual things. But if it wasn't already put in there for you, you can easily click on things and add things in from your ingredients list over here with your edit, or you can actually change your speed, your time and your speeds here. So that's the way that you edit your settings here, by either using your cooking settings or your ingredient settings from there, and you'll find all of your ingredients list comes up here. So once you get used to doing this, it is actually quite easy to do, but it does take a little bit of playing around with, and sometimes you do finally have to, because some of the recipes that are on Recipe Community are written a little bit like an essay, shall we say? And they don't translate over so well. They kind of come up in one big lump, and you find that you have to kind of translate. So when you are editing them, think of them like as if you were doing it on your Thermomix screen. So when you get to that, you're doing one step and you need to click on next. That's just one step. So you can separate all your steps that way. So that will go out to your different numbers there. And then when you look on your Thermix screen, it will come up the same as this. Instead of having the next button though up the top, it's just got a little arrow which will take you onto your next steps there. So do we have anyone in the chat that has done any adaptions in their Tess? What have they been doing? No one.
Diane Reed has said, I've done it. I find it easier on a computer, which I 100% agree.
Yes, I have to.
Yeah. Look, Jodie's whipped through this pretty quickly. What I would suggest you do if you weren't able to keep up is, especially for this time of the night, is reach out to your consultant, and this can be built into your demonstration and they can show you exactly how to do it. Yeah, so that is probably the best idea, I think.
So if you just think of this screen as like an edit screen where if you were writing a recipe into a notebook, for example, you're able to put your own notes in here in your hints and tips section. You're able to change the recipe around, and you can easily translate recipes from Cookadoo itself too. So if I just click across to Cookadoo, I don't know why every time I'm on Zoom, it always logs me out of my
I know, it's so annoying.
But if I go now to the My Recipes here and go into my created recipes, you'll see that those chopped chip recipes have landed straight into that created recipe section of mine. And any adaptations that I have done will have come up there. So that's kind of what it looks like on your laptop or on your iPad, whatever you're using to do your editing. And as Tess has suggested, if you need any help with that, not only can you get your consultant to come along and actually show you how to do that, there are also plenty of classes where we actually do specific Cookadoo classes to teach you how to use it. And we also do have, up in your top right-hand corner here, a little help button, which actually has a whole heap of tutorials in here. So on your actual Cookadoo itself, you'll be able to go into your tutorials and learn a little bit more how to do those created recipes and lots of other stuff as well. So if you haven't used the tutorial buttons on Cookadoo, they are in there as well for you to help you out.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jodie. Now, one other thing that we forgot to mention that maybe you might like to address, Jodie, what else is starting tomorrow in that will make it that little bit affordable to get a Thermomix on their kitchen bench with Zip?
36 months interest-free.
How did we forget that?
Yay! I know, that's very exciting. We don't see 36 months interest-free come around very often. So, yeah, it's something that is appealing to you. Definitely jump on that one. It'll be here up until the 14th of February.
Valentine's Day. And it will make your Thermomix, bring it down to $18.84 per week. Not too bad to get one on your kitchen bench. The other thing we haven't mentioned is that, well, I have mentioned it earlier on, that is now a great time to earn your Thermomix, and you can earn with just 3 sales. Typically it's 6. If you want to know a little bit more about that, stay on at the end and we will take you through the ins and outs of what's involved, completely obligation free. All right. How are we going for time? Ooh, starting to cut it fine. What I'm going to do is, because all of you lovely people have registered, okay, we are going to email you over the next couple of days, and we will email these recipes that we have created for you tonight. And we will also email our own favorite lunchbox recipes that are ideal for freezing, so that you get more to add to your repertoire, because you know, hopefully, as we have shown you tonight, just putting aside, you know, half an hour or an hour a day, or, you know, every few days now is going to make your going back to school, back to work so much easier, to be able to just pull things from out of your freezer. So good. What have you seen tonight that you haven't made before, but you reckon you will now? Pop it in the chat. I love to make scrolls, I have to say. So as Lexie said, rolling out your pizza dough, putting your scroll topping on there. You know, it could be Vegemite and cheese. It could be a pizza scroll with bacon or ham and tomato paste and cheese. Or you could do savory ones with custard and apple. You know, there's so many different options. I don't know about you, but I get sick of sandwiches and yeah, absolutely. Cheese and bacon rolls, fantastic. ABC muffins. The slice, beautiful. Yeah, I want to make that slice.
I haven't had that version of the slice. Normally I just do the zucchini slice, so I'm going to try that one. Deb, it looks good.
Yeah, it's really yummy. Whole new depth of flavors. The basil really, you know, pings out at you.
If you haven't made scrolls with sweet chili sauce and cheese in them, you need to do so. They are my absolute favourite.
Oh, I do like sweet
Lexie,
chili.
you've been keeping that from me.
Or pesto.
Yeah.
Pesto and cheese would be my
Pesto.
Oh, pesto. Yeah.
I tell you what else is yummy is the herb and garlic dip. Bread on with some extra cheese. That's to die for.
They are delicious.
I love that.
Hey, Tess, oh, sorry, go on.
Salami is really nice too. Salami with pizza sauce and salami and cheese.
I feel like we could do a whole cooking class on just making fillings for scrolls.
Absolutely. So speaking of which, what would you like to see in future cooking classes? The team leaders and I are hoping to do one sort of every month or two. And we'd love to be catering to those who show up, as in you guys. So what would you like to see? Spinach and feta scrolls, of course, Casey. Yeah, they're a ripper. Delicious. So would you be interested in how to make yogurt? Yes. Baby first foods. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be good. I can't remember what our next one is. Is it a Valentine's Day?
No.
Can't remember.
I'm going to put a Valentine's Day one in. I think we did. Give me 1 second. I'll have a quick look.
Yeah, I'm having a quick look now. Oh, we've got Master the Basics class on the 24th of February. That's why we didn't put one in for February. And that is just about, you know, making things like butter, you know, whipping cream.
We've got an Easter class Zoom on the 14th of April.
Yep.
Was there one in for March? I think there was.
Yep, we'll put all of these in the email so that you can book in for the classes we've got coming up. We try not to go over 45 minutes as much as possible because studies have shown that keeping people's attention on Zoom for 45 minutes is pretty much your limit. And, yeah, gut-friendly mains. Oh, we'll have to get your help there, Jodes. Caravan cooking. Oh, look at all these great ideas. Ice cream, something for the men. You mean barbecue?
We've got a Christmas in July class as well, Tess.
We do.
July 14th.
Yeah, that's right.
We've got a footy finals in September and a Christmas gift giving in November.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep. And, you know, if we have enough demand, we'll bring more classes in. We'll try and do them once a month. Yeah, if you guys are interested. Have you found this useful tonight? Caravan cooking. Wendy, I go on the 12th of February. Sorry, I've just realised I'm lucky enough to be heading off to Germany next month. So that is very exciting to visit the Vorwerk factory in Wuppertal. So that is extremely exciting. One of the benefits of being a consultant. All right. I think we leave it there. Thank you so much, Jodie. Thank you, Deb, and thank you, Lexie. You've been brilliant with your show. Oh, yes, we haven't shown up. Oh, my God. I'm tired. Honestly.
You might want to see the finished products.
Yeah, that might help. Hey, add spotlight and Lexie. I'm hoping everything has come out of the oven by now.
Yep.
Yay!
Not too bad.
Oh, Jodie's might still be in the oven. Oh, Deb, that looks delicious.
It smells amazing.
Oh, they look amazing too.
Good, they're hot.
Oh, yeah, put them down. How about you, Lexie? Can we have a close-up?
Yeah, can we see? It's very hot, so I don't want to pick it up. Can everyone see?
Yep.
I was just going to very quickly show my little tip at the end is just to brush them with a little bit of melted butter while they're still hot.
Butter makes everything better.
It makes everything better, right? It gives a nice gloss, and it does. Yeah, they're really good when you do that.
Ah, fantastic.
And
Cheers.
I put some granola on the top of mine before they went into the oven, so that's what the crunchy topping is on mine. But these, they actually taste a little bit like a carrot cake, so you can also do these with a cream cheese icing on the top as well. So they're a bit like a carrot cake muffin. But the granola,
Delicious.
they're very healthy. Trust me.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm going to get these ladies to give me their top 5 recipes for things that they put in their freezer for lunch boxes, and we'll include that in the email, and I'll give you my top 5 as well. So you're going to have lots of recipes to try to satisfy your hungry mouths that you need to feed at lunchtime for back to school or back to work. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming tonight. And we look forward to the next class, and we hope we've inspired you. Keep an eye on your inbox for the email that we will be sending out in the next couple of days.
So share the link for the muesli bars as well. They are very adaptable, so you can change them with their seeds and things like that. So give them a try for lunch. They're a great money saver.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jodie. Thanks, ladies. Now, please stay on if you are interested in hearing a little bit more about joining the business.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Stop the recording.
Smells delicious. I might need to take a little sample piece out of the
I think you should, to make sure it's not poisonous.
I meant to